Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another kata. Today we are going to solve a 7Q kata which consists of drawing a star, as you can see on the screen from codewars, and you can notice there are some constraints. This is the first one. If the number is even, you're going to return center not cross, and if the number given is less than 3, this is the message you have to return, that it's not possible to draw a cross or grid of less than 3. Now the example given on the screen is a draw a cross function that takes parameter figure 7, and you can see 7, and this x has actually 7 lines from top to bottom. There are 7 lines, and that permits to draw the star. Now if you take a notice from this example, this first line is made up of 7 characters. As I'm selecting, you can be counting. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. So the number of characters in that line is exactly equal to what was passed in parameters of draw across. The same thing happens for the second line. It's actually 7 characters. Now this time around, with the x shifted left and right, so there are always 2 x in one line. So there's a starting x and a closing x. We're going to start this challenge by solving the very minimal basis, which is the condition what was given. That is if n is less than 3, we automatically return not possible to draw grids of less than this message. There is another one. If n is even, we cannot draw the star, because if it's even, we won't be able to have a belt with just one x like we can see here. So if n is even, then we have to return center cross not possible. Now I was a little bit in a haste in reading this exercise, but you can see the full description if you can't read it from my screen on the comment section. Okay, we are done with the basic conditions we had to test here. Right now we have to solve this star dilemma. First of all, like I said, it's a star, and here we are given a parameter of 7, and each line is made up of 7 characters. Actually, these are 7 characters, these are 7 characters also, these are 7 characters. So we have a line of 7 characters, and we have 7 of those kind of lines. So we have a grid system actually. So we have to construct that that star grid. Okay, so I know that every line has a starting x and a closing x. Okay, so I'm going to, and I also know that from the sample is returned in the form of a very long string, as you can see below, in the form of a very long string. So each line is actually a string followed by /n, which permits it to return and go to the next line so that we can print the next line that follows. So the whole of this star, as you can see on the screen, is a complete string followed by is a complete string where in the middle we can have a /n to break the line and go to the next line. So I'm going to declare my star string that is going to have the answer. For now it's empty. Okay, it's empty, and I'll declare a starting variable, because as we can see here, there is always a a starting x and an ending x. So for the first line, x starts at 0, and for the last line, x starts at the length that was given. So this is the end. X starts at n minus 1 if we take a 0 index. So I start from the beginning. N is the number given as a parameter, and it permits us to have a grid system of n by n here. And from the first line, the first star starts at the first index, and the second star starts is located at the very last index. That is why I have this starting and ending variable. So I'm going to put the looping variable, because as we go from one line to another, we can see that the height of this star is actually 7. So there's a loop, so it means we're supposed to have 7 lines. So I'm going to declare a looping variable that starts at 1, and it's going to be creating every line of the stars until the loop equates n. So once we finish with the first line, loop is 1, and we go to the next line, loop is 2. Progressively, you can see that, which means inside this while loop, we'll have to be incrementing the loop. All right. Also, you can notice here on the first line, as we finish to write the 2x, as we go to the next line,
it's 7 o'clock.
The following x are kind of closer together, meaning that the starting position is going to increase, and the ending position, the next position of x, is going to decrease. Sorry. That's it. Those are the basic conditions for our loop to be created. So once we are in this loop, we'll have to create each line. And like I told you before, each line is just a string made up of n characters, and is mostly filled of empty spaces, except there are always 2x somewhere. So I'm going to create a helper function to help me create an empty line. That I'm going to create a line that with n positions, and I'm going to fill it with empty spaces, and then at the position where we're supposed to have our 2x, I'm going to insert x there. So that's going to be our helper function. So I'm going to call this function to fill a line, and it's going to take 3 parameters. First of all, it's going to take our parameter n, and it's going to take the starting position where we have the first x. Let me just call it the first x, and the second x, and then I'm going to declare an array. I'm going to make it return an array because that's easy to manipulate. You see what I'm talking about at the end. So this is an array that is empty, and then I'm going to loop from I starting at 0 till our end position. I'm going to fill that array with empty spaces. At the end of the loop, I'm going to go to where the first x is, which is array of first x, and I'm going to insert our x there. The same thing for the second x. I'm going to fill it with x. This is a small x, and then I'm going to return our array. So let's come back to where we were. We were here, the main function, This is a loop. Why this is different? Sorry, I was wrong. Okay, so I want to create line after line. That is why I have a looping variable, and it's going to create each line until the last line will be of number n. That is why I have a while loop of while n. Loop is different from n, because as we're looping, n is going to increase until it's going to be equal to n. So what do? For every loop I have to create a line, so I'm going to declare my line variable here. Sorry, this is line, and inside the line I'm going to fill the line with the function, the helper function up. I'm going to fill the line. It's actually fill the line, like fill the line. Let me change it and put a name that is easy to recognize. So that is I fill the line. A line is made up of n characters at the positions start and at position n. When I fill the first line, I'm going to, let's just do a console log so that you can see what we're talking about. If I display the line, this is what you're going to see. You can see our X is forming already. So remember, our helper function up returns an array. That is why we can see this in form of an array. And then why the starting position increases and the end position decreases, you can see now the end becomes closer. That is why we have X closer. Now I'm going to convert this to an array by joining. I'll convert to a string, sorry. That function returns an array, so I'll convert to a string. And let's print again the line. You can see our X is already getting shape. Okay, we're not done yet. So this is just printing each line one after the other. But I want the whole answer, like you can see from the sample test below. Everything is a single string, so I have to concatenate all of the lines so that they will form a single string. I'm going to put that into our star variable I declared on line 14. So let me just comment this. So on line I'm going to take the star and I'm going to concatenate it with a line, and that is not enough because you can see from the example and the sample test below there is one line concatenated with a /n. So this is concatenated with /n, and then the next line follows, and then we have a /n and the next line follows. Okay, that's it. And at the end of this loop I can console log my star and see what it looks like. This is what it looks like. So if I return it, I should be good to go. Let's return the star. Whoa, it still fails. We need to debug this. Okay, what can be the issue here? Console log star. Okay, now this is a very subtle issue why we're failing, and you need to be very careful. It's very difficult to grasp, but I think I got the idea. Now you can look at the sample test below. You are going to notice that we have a line, and then we have a slash n, and then we have the next line. Sorry about that. And then we have a next line, and then we have a slash n. Now if you look at our example here on line 22, when we want to create the first line, star is actually 0. It's an empty string, I mean. So when we do this first concatenation, it's going to concatenate star being an empty string is going to start with slash n. So we need to remove that slash n, that first character slash n. So actually I'm going to return, so I need to remove just the first character from the star string. Actually I'm going to remove which means I can return the substring of star that starts at 1 instead of 0 character. That permits us to remove the first character. So it starts at 1 and ends at the very last character. Let's test. This is crazy. Start at length. This is interesting. Okay, let me console log substring. Let me console log so that I can see what is made up of. It looks fine. So we were expecting this and we got this. Oh, I think I got the issue. It is our looping variable. Now if you look at the star properly, you're going to see that the head of the star is larger than the foot. The head of the star has 3 stars and three levels if you want, and the bottom has 2. So there's a problem of equilibrium. Our loop variable didn't arrive. It's supposed to be 7 lines for the first case, so we have 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we have 1 more loop to go. So I started at 1. I should have started at 0. Okay, so let's try again, and that's it. Let me comment our console log, and actually I can delete it, and I can run again this. Alright, that's it. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and before I switch off this video, let's just submit, and let's look at the solution from other people, if there is something different and something we can learn from. This is a way more complex for beginners. I myself, I can't really understand it right now. Maybe I need to run it. It's using regular expression. This is definitely a clever solution. This should be a mathematical formula for this that we didn't realize, so we broke down the problem into very tiny steps so that we could understand. But this is an interesting solution actually, but it still has filling the array with zeros with empty spaces. And this line should be the mathematical formula to be inserting the x as at the start, at the proper start and ending positions, and at the end joining everything to display as a string. This is great. This is about the same logic with our own, just using less variables, meaning it's more efficient in terms of using memory, because the more variables you have, the more memory you need. But I think maybe at the speed level this can be about the same. Okay, this looks like something like our own solution too, just a different way of writing. This is a lot of for loop. We are definitely faster than this. Alright guys, thanks for watching and see you in another video.